Hey, hello. My name's Joe. I'm a watch, jewelry, and bag collector. I also authenticate Hermes bags for bag investors and auction houses. Here is my sixth video, and I'm coming back to actually the bag that I reviewed in my first video because I noticed that it was a very long video, like 30 almost 35 minutes, but after watching it a couple of times, I realized I missed a lot of points because I wanted to give you a full picture of comprehensive authenticating on a Hermes bag, and I did miss a lot of points. I originally thought I could maybe patch up those missing spots with a Birkin or caddy bags that I have at home because I'm still traveling. But then I realized, wow, on this small bag, it's actually quite enough element for me to, well, explain the thing. But I promise, I will do the Birkins and caddies when I get home, and Oaguhua also have them at home, so we can refresh those points. So again, here the bag that we're talking about today is very new bag. It's called Etui Oaguhua, Etui HAC, HAC, Etui Oaguhua, a box. It's actually really it's supposed to be a phone case. Well, the size is, you see my hand, so it's pretty small, and inside it's just with one card slot, and you're supposed just to put your phone there. Compared to the phone case that Hermes phone, I think it's called phone and lipstick something case that Hermes had, it's a big I would say it's a big improvement because it does have a cover this time. Because the other one, if you Google it online, Hermes phone case, you will see it's basically just this, with here is open too, with a pocket attached here for I don't know what, and then another cylindric formed pocket for lipsticks. But this one is actually a real bag. It's actually even a very complex bag. You see the closure, it opens like this. These small pieces to keep this thing in place, and then you close like this. Yeah, I've been using it for a couple of days now, and oh yeah, the first thing I want to maybe correct is last time I mentioned about the stitching. If you have watched my video, you know I'm quite obsessed with stitchings. Here they are hand stitches until now, and here too you see the left slants, so left slants, left top to right bottom, and basically everywhere on this bag. Here the same, the left slants. When I say left, you have to see it this way, then it's the left slants, and of course on the belt it's all machine stitched. The thing that I mentioned last time was here. Originally I thought this was machine stitched because it's a right it's on this side, it's the right slant, because when the double sides are left slants, it's for sure it's hand stitched. So originally I thought this is machine stitched from this side, and then to make this appearance of hand stitch the whole thing. But then I analyzed the stitches more, because to find, well, the left slant, right slant is just easier way, but it's not very precise. I realized they are all hand stitches. You can tell by how tight, if you compare this to this here, you can tell how tight the stitches here are, how much it goes into the leather, and how much these stitches are superficial, and also the irregularities of the stitches. The irregularity, that's a hand stitch tell. Wow. But again, this stitch thing, it's actually useful. For example, on a Birkin or on a caddy, you know exactly where it's supposed to be hand stitch, where it's supposed to be a machine stitch. So if they make that up, then you can tell the knockoff pretty easily. But on a new bag, especially on hardened leather, it's really hard. Yeah. The thing that I forgot to talk about, that I will talk about this time, is actually authenticating methods on the plaque. Last time I mentioned all this metallic part on a bag is called accastillage in French. You can call it also the jewelry. Yeah, but the real name is accastillage in French. So this, in French, this thing, it's la plaque, the plate. On the plate, there's the easy tell for authenticating bags is the nails. Actually, the nails is they are actually nailed from the back. These are the bottom of the nails. They are nailed from here. Someone might say this seems very artificial, but it's a very hard leather, so that's normal. And on the other side, what happens is you have the nails sticking up like this, and then they would actually cut the nails and keep a little bit, and then use a tool to manually to hit the remaining part of the nail and make it into a small rounded pearl like this. In French, this process, in French the pearl is perle. This process, this making is called the perlage, the pearlage. So that means they are not the original form. They didn't come like this. Those are made by the artisans with a specific tool. So that said, an easy tell is this part should be smaller, almost the same size as a hole. You can tell on a counterfeit one, it's very often very big, like as big as this part. Yeah, and also, well, this technique of perlage has of course been adopted also by some really good artisans making, well, unfortunately, counterfeit bags. But even for them, very often they make it too big. That's what, from my experience, I can tell. Another thing that is this part is called a touré. A touré. Tourner is turn. Touré is like a turny thing. The touré, it's when you turn it, you should feel certain resistance, but at the same time, it's very constant. So that's a tell for the authentic one. But this requires some experience, right? And another easy thing is actually the size of the plaque. Of course, this is, I'm not saying all counterfeits are doing it in the other way, but the real one, the plaque, is actually, the plate is actually much smaller than the leather. You should be able to see some leather here. And on a counterfeit one, it's very often the same size as the leather. It covers completely the leather. So that's a pretty easy tell for counterfeits. And here is the same technique on the bottom plate. So these are the perlage that I mentioned, the perlage. Now on this side, they are the bottom of the nails. So yeah, this is something that I missed talking last time. And another thing that we can actually examine is how well this small thing here is made. This thing, if you, it's of course a piece of leather. If you see it here, you can see, I don't know if you can see it very well. here it has a joint. It's actually one piece of leather. They would actually take off on both sides, of like bevel out a little bit the edge of the leather to on both ends, and then curve it and then stick. So the authentic one, if you look from the side, can you see it? It should be really the same thickness. They actually bevel the leather so well, so when they stick them together, it's exactly like one piece of leather, and you shouldn't be able to feel anything. This is actually quite hard to make. Yeah. Now, today I watched a video talking about some silver fakes. The silver fakes are actually like really good artisans using really good material, the same tools as Hermes, and following the same techniques. And of course, you achieve a result which is quite astonishingly good. But sometimes on the small details, you can still tell the difference. And I already talked about the edge paint, the edge paint or edge coat. Again, the Hermes one should never spill onto the leather, like here. Yeah, they actually apply every time very little amount of this edge paint, so they don't spill, and then they remove it immediately. If you look at the LV one, it's pretty much everywhere. But it did happen to me. Actually, it's a funny story. I bought Birkin 25 in Hermes shop in France, and then they normally don't want you to open the bags in the store, so they asked me to. They showed me what it is, and then they asked me to go home and check it. When I arrived home, I saw on the body of the bag in front, there's a small mark of the edge paint. I was quite astonished. I don't understand how. I think it's because maybe the edge paint was not completely dry. I don't know how it got there. So I went back, and she actually removed it pretty easily. But so that's interesting because on one side it shows sometimes Hermes can make mistakes. Actually, it happened twice to me on two different bags. But at the same time, it's also something which is very easy to amend. So in Hermes, they don't necessarily want to make a bag which never breaks, but they do want to make things that can be fixed. That's their philosophy. The luxury that can last. Last not meaning, because if you want to make it really like robust and last really very long time, it won't be very delicate looking, right? So that's just pretty easy to understand. Coming back to this bag, actually the construction of this bag is quite particular. I don't understand how it's, well, I mean, I understand, but it's very tricky. It's very intriguing. You see, there's actually a stitch here. It's actually a stitch here, and also here. It's like here they have two pieces of leather, really thick. Hold on, can you see it? Really thick, and they stick them together. There are actually stitches running in between, so that gives this really rigid body of the bag. So that's some bag making, I would say. It's very well done. Yeah. So yeah, today was mostly just to talk about the touret, the plate, and this part. But I ended up with another video of 15 minutes. Again, I will share. Actually, I've been thinking about what I can do on this channel, because I do not want to be, like I mentioned many times, I don't want to be a like unboxing guy, because I think there are enough people unboxing their stuff. And also, I do not want to be like authenticating tutorial, because it's kind of dangerous. You never can teach someone really well this way the authenticating methods. it helps, but it never 100%. I don't want people to make mistakes because of me. So I maybe what I will do is talk about those interesting bag models, the interesting bags that I collected from Hermes, Louis Vuitton, and other brands that a lot of people neglected, especially the vintage ones. There are a lot of models which have been discontinued, but they're coming back. Like at the moment, the signature of again is like a bigger plate with this head, which is different, which is not center pivot. It's like on one side. This is the feature of the and it's making a big coming back. It's in so many different models you found these elements. So Hermes will eventually bring things back. So it makes sense to talk about some discontinued models. Yeah, so I will do that when I get home. So thank you very much for watching, and you have a nice day.